All right. So when you log in, this is the first screen you see, and the menu, all the menu is on the left-hand side here. Vicky, I just collapsed it. You can
Okay.
expand and collapse it. And I think mainly you're gonna be coming in and adding properties, editing properties.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I'm gonna go through with you. Okay.
Okay.
So when you come in here, you look for properties. You go ahead and click on that.
Okay.
Okay, and as you can see, it has all the properties listed here. Okay, that we have on the site. I'll open another tab. Rest. So when you log in to the backend, Shelly, there's a few things that happen. You're going to see that on your website, there's going to be another black top column on the top, and it gives you the option to edit. So ideally, if you want to edit a page, this is a fast way to go about doing it, but you can always go to the WP admin backend and access all the information there as well.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay. That's how that agent can. So I can add agents if I want down the road.
correct, correct.
Okay. Cool.
I'll show you that. But the
Okay.
first thing we want to do is the properties because that's going to be the most important things you need to get in. And
Right.
so we'll just on the home page. I'm logged in now, so we'll just go to the properties page. Okay, and we'll go to any property that's listed here. So we'll try and get in there. So when you're on the property page and you want to edit this, Shelly, you just go to that page. You come on the very top here where it says edit property.
Okay.
Okay, it takes you to the edit page. Okay,
Okay.
and I'm also going to show you how you get there if you were to go through directly through the backend. So remember, we went into the backend, we clicked on properties. It has all the properties listed.
Okay.
If you hover over any one of this, you're gonna see it. It gives you an option to edit, quick edit, trash,
Okay.
view. So all you do is edit. Okay. So we'll take. If you click on edit any of these, this is what you see. Okay, and I'm gonna try and
Okay.
break this into sections such that it's very easy to understand. Okay,
Okay.
so there's two separate columns. Okay, there's one big one and then there's the one small one here, Shelly.
Okay.
These are all the tools you're gonna need to either add a new property or edit your property. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so let's first of all go down this first column and then we'll compare and contrast. Okay, so let me make sure I have the property open. So this is the property we're editing right now. So this is it in the back end. And the first section is your page title. Okay. So if you need to add a new property, what I do, which is a good practice, Shelly, is to always name the property by the address.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
And the reason being, you're gonna see that the page permalink, which is the URL for the page, is gonna mimic the page title.
Okay.
It's a very good practice in the sense that if someone is typing in the address or doing search engine optimization and searching for this, the likelihood of it showing up is higher because it's the direct address. Okay,
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
so that's what that is. And at any point in time, you can edit that. Okay, you're gonna see there's an
Okay.
edit option here,
Okay.
and you can edit and click OK. Okay.
All right.
All right, the next section. So the next section is on the front end. I'll scroll down just to show you. It's basically this section right here, starting from here down.
Okay.
Okay, which is basically your description, you know, your short description, whatever you need to talk about and stuff like that. Okay.
Okay.
So if you want to say edit information here or delete something, it's as simple as coming here, and you know how to use a word editor, so it
Yeah.
you know you can delete this. Okay, and anytime you make an update, this button here is critical. You need to update the page for it to reflect. Okay, I'm gonna reverse it. You can reverse it, you know, on the menu top here.
Yeah.
If you hit this back arrow, it's gonna reverse what we just did. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
So straightforward information like that. I do have a program installed in the next section. Sorry, the next section here is a program installed for search engine optimization, Shelly. So what this is doing is it's showing you how this page is going to look in search engines. You know, it's the title of the page, the URL, and then a little bit text about what it is. It does give you power to control how the search engines see it by optimizing keywords and doing all that. But we won't dive into this too much because it's a little bit more time, and you know you can play around it when you get the chance. So what I'll do here in this section is I'm gonna collapse this, that way it's out of the way, but you can always expand it back. Okay, so anything that you don't need to be working, you can easily collapse that. Okay, the next section is the property details. So by default, if you look on the front end, the gallery is shown on the right hand side. Okay, it gives you two options. You can either show it on the right hand side or on the bottom, and that's what this is. So thumbnails on the bottom or thumbnails on the right.
Okay.
Okay, I'll leave it by default what it is, but again, you have an option to change that. Okay, all right, so we've already uploaded the images, but what you're going to see is you're going to see this button, Shelly. It's going to say select or upload images.
Okay.
I'm going to click on that and kind of show you what it does. What it does is it takes you into your photo gallery. So any image you upload to the site, it puts it into a gallery whereby you can go and reference that image at any point in time on your pages.
Okay.
What I think is a good practice, Shelly, is with your website, all I did was I usually get all the images ready in a folder on my computer, and I go to and I go to upload files. Okay, and then you click select files. Okay, so when you go into select files, you can then browse to that folder and select them all at once.
Okay, great.
And then boom, it's gonna put them all in. You know, it's that straightforward. So that's what I did. I'm gonna cancel out of this. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna see them all show up in the library. Okay, and then you click select, and when you click select, it brings them in just like that.
Okay. Does it have a limit as to how many pictures can go in there?
Yeah, so it does have a limit to the file size. So you want to make sure you optimize your images. I know when you want to take good photos, you use pretty high resolution pictures. It's not good for the web. This application does try to curve that by blocking. It won't upload it if it's more than 2 megabytes. Okay. But you want to make sure you optimize the images, okay? You know, just make sure it's for, I don't know if you know how to do that, but make sure it's like 72 dpi or set to for viewing on the web or whatever.
Okay.
And
I
then
know how to do that.
okay. And that way your pages load faster, on both mobile and the web and stuff like that. Okay? So moving forward. Again, remember there's 2 columns, so I don't want to distract you with this section. We're just going all the way down, and then we'll come all the way up onto this column, okay? So the next thing is the property price. Obviously this right here. You see,
Right.
okay, that's what it is. You don't want to put in any commas or any. You just put in the straight amount, and it'll take care of the commas and stuff like that. Okay. This right here is if you want to add any additional text to the property price, like enter value, it gives you per month.
Or something like that.
Yeah, and it has a description below that you can always refer to read.
Oh, okay.
The next thing is, obviously the property size. You put in the value, whatever size, and then size prefix square feet is what I put in. Number of bedrooms, bathrooms, garages, and then the proper ID. I'm putting in the MLS number.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go on the front page, you're gonna see the proper ID here. I put in MLS number. Okay.
That's great, because that needs to be there. Yeah.
And then the cool thing about this too is with the address, and I'll show you here. When you put in the address, it's gonna try and figure it out for you. So 1500, I'll put my business address, Poly Drive. You see that it shows you the address?
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure you select this instead of manually typing it in, because selecting this is actually going to connect it with the Google Maps, okay? Because it's utilizing Google Maps API to pull it up, okay? And then immediately, it brings it up. But I'm going to go ahead and put back what we had previously. So going down, you do have an option to put in a video. If you have a YouTube video or whatever, you can put it in there if you want to. But if you don't have to, okay? With the video, you can also represent it with an image for someone to click on the image and then it plays the video. That's what this is. At this point in time, it's an option that you can use, or you don't have to. So on the home page, you say where it says mark this property as featured. This will show it on the home page. So if we go back to your home page here, we can add another sold item here, because remember we had the one you took off the market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can add it here, okay? And again, would you wanted this being simple? I just have it set to display 2 featured images on the home page, such that you don't get too crazy on how busy the home page gets, okay? All right. Okay. And then you always want to display what to display in the agent. You want to display agent information, okay? And then if you keep adding agents, you would have the option to select the type of agent associated with the property here.
Okay.
But right now it's just you, so you have to, you select you such that it renders your information here, okay? So that's what that is. One other feature too is select or upload file. files are basically flyers. Okay, if you have a flyer that you want someone to be able to download, you can upload that as an option in a PDF format, and it will show up here. But again, you know, the user can print the property. Let's see here, PDF preview. I'm just going to preview this for you. So, I mean, it has a fairly good view to just print, okay? It gives all the user the basic information. But if you want to get fancy and give the user an option to print something different than what the print option gives you, you can upload a flyer or, you know, download a copy or whatever. And that's what that is, okay?
Great.
You can have notes. I think this note it's just for you on the property. It's what this is. It doesn't display anywhere. Okay, so that's what that is, and it kind of explains what it does right there.
Okay, great.
Expert, this you don't need to worry about that. Alter by default, you don't need to worry about that. You know, it's how the program is set up. You're not going to be collecting payment, so again, that module is not even activated. Additional items. So this is one thing I want you to kind of take a note. So if we go back to the page, let's see here. You can see that, you know, we have just one additional item, which is year built 2000. Okay, so again, you don't have to use that because you have all this real estate that you can just copy and paste all that information. Am I making sense to you?
Yep, absolutely.
But I'll show you a different property that I use all those elements to kind of show you how it looks a little bit different. And then you can decide if you want to use it or not. So if you want to add any special features to this, you can always add. If you click the add button here, it's going to give you a field to type in. Same thing here, and then you put in the value. So the title, the value. Okay, and if you want to take it out, you just click on the mark here. So anything left here, the top banner, this revolutional slider is something I wouldn't worry about. Okay. But again, when you do it for the first time, you can always open two separate tabs and have one of the properties open and compare and contrast. And it's going to be a good practice to just do it to see how it changes and stuff, okay?
Okay, sure.
All right, so remember I told you we had what, 2 columns, right? So we finished with the first column and the second column. So the second column is basically, the first one is the publish. So remember you told me you took down the one you had on sale off and you needed it off the site. This is where I came in. I came in to edit the publish, and I selected draft. Okay, and what this does is it doesn't delete what you've already created, it just archives it, okay, and takes it off the site. So such that at any point,
back on the market, I can just go in there and publish it.
Exactly, such that, you know, if you get a property that you need to sell, you can actually put everything up and wait till when you're ready to publish it, or wait, or, you know, be able to publish it, take it off, vice versa. So, okay, that's what that is.
Okay.
I wouldn't worry about this public visibility a whole lot, because you want this to be public, okay? But at times, if you want to have this, you do have an option to have a password protected, meaning if someone clicks on that property page, it won't let them see what it is. It's going to have them require them to log in.
Yeah.
It's as simple as just saying password protected, and then you put in a password here, and it's going to require the user putting in whatever password you put in, okay?
Okay. Got it.
But I don't foresee you needing this feature with your properties, because if you don't need it, you just keep it on the draft. If you want to publish, you keep it on the publish. Okay. The next thing here is the date for the publish, and this is gonna come in handy, Vicky. Sorry, Shelly. So if you go into the featured property pages, you see the order this is in.
Okay.
It's based on the date you applied. So the most recent one is going to be on the top. Okay.
Okay.
And each time you set a property up, it records the date it's published. So say you want some property that you published that's old to show up on the first top instead of the one you recently posted. So you want to move this up top. All you need to do is make sure that the date on this is an earlier date. So all you're going to be doing is just changing the date, which is this section. If you click on edit, you change the date and time, and it's going to move it up. Okay?
Okay.
So that's basically what that is.
Okay.
Okay. The next section, and I'll collapse this, okay, such that it's clean. The next section is property features. And with property features, you can keep adding. I've already added a handful for you, if you can tell here, based on what.
Yeah.
At any point in time, you can keep adding to this, Shelly. And I think most of the stuff here is what you already have.
Okay.
And I kind of want to show you what it does. Okay, so let's say let's take a look at this one. We don't have properties featured on this one. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, as you can tell, with that property that we're looking at, this section here, you see where it says features, is not showing because we don't have anything selected. Okay, these are the features. So basically, if you want to, instead of having to type everything, you can just come in and check all that applies to that property, for the features. And it's going to show up under here.
Great.
Okay. So if you remember, we talked about additional details where you can keep adding, like the schools and stuff. You can do that, or again, you can just add it to the plain text information here, whichever you prefer. But it just gives it a little bit of a different feel and segments it out pretty clean on the page. So again, that's what that is, okay? It's the featured properties. And you can immediately keep adding right here. If you want to add to this list, you just click on that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So the next thing we want to take a look at is the property type. I already have all these set up for now. So every property that you list, you need to classify the type. Again, we're not using the search feature because you probably wouldn't have that huge inventory that's going to be necessary to use the search feature. But classifying the property is important because when you classify the property, it shows it right underneath here. So you're going to see single family.
Okay. Yeah.
And again, if you go into the featured property, it is going to show it by the price.
Okay.
So it's important that you kind of do that. And then you can keep adding, again, same thing. And the next thing is the city of the property. You know, I have a handful listed here from what you had. You can keep adding or you can check, you know, and I believe, let's see here. That's more of the search query,
Okay.
you know, but we're not doing that again. So that's what that is. I'll collapse that. That way we know we're done with that. And then the status. So where it says sold, closed, for sale, pending.
Great. Okay.
So right here, you're going to see the status. It says sold. And if you go into the featured properties, you're going to see it shows it right on top of the image.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
And then attributes. This you wouldn't need to worry about. But the featured image you do, because this is what shows when it displays it in the featured properties. Okay, this is the featured image. All this that you see, whatever you want to feature. Same thing on the home page. The feature image is what displays first before you actually get into the property details.
Okay.
Okay, so it's that simple, Shelly.
Yeah, that looks like you can handle that.
So each time you come into property, so if you need to add a new property, you just click on add and you run through all this process, okay? Most of these already have it set up, and you know this right here, which is the property features, property types, city types, status. This is exactly this information here.
Okay.
Okay, that already have collapsed. So you can go in here and create them or delete them. This section gives you the option to add but not delete.
Okay.
You know, but I wouldn't think you need to do that. But that's all this is.
Okay.
Okay. And then the next thing is the agents. You know, just like you said, I already have you set up. You can keep adding agents. So if down the road you want to add another agent to your list, Shelly, you just come in here, click on add, and I'll click on edit here to show you what it looks like.
Okay.
Okay, so with WordPress, it follows the same format on all the, you know, edit pages. You know, there's the page title, there's the URL, and then there's the content edit, where you put your information in. And again, this is the SEO information that you can collapse. But information about the realtor, you know, your email, phone number, mobile, and this is going to be. Let me get down into one of these properties. This is the information it's collecting. Okay.
Okay.
So so yeah, it's that simple.
I can do that.
Yeah, and again, there is some other features that I don't think you should worry yourself too much about. You know, I'm always here to support if you encounter an issue.